Welcome back to Grapple FK, everyone. We hope everyone had a good time over the holidays. Just a quick update. We're back in lockdown in London, and looking forward to the next set of cards. It's going to be crazy. Today we're covering the main fight on the upcoming card on Saturday. It's Max Holloway against Calvin Kattar, or Kattar, whatever. It's Kattar, isn't it? That's the way they pronounce it.
Yep.
So let's get into this. Max, obviously the former champion, 21-6-0. Kattar, 22-4. Same height, same weight. Kattar's got a 3-inch reach advantage, and then Max has got a leg reach. Let's begin with just a word on both fight. Well, not a word, but what do you think about these fighters? I mean, we know a lot about Max Holloway, and Kattar's really come up over his last few fights. How are you thinking stylistically?
Well, obviously they're both strikers.
Yeah,
they're two of the better strikers in the division.
definitely.
Just a few words about Kattar. He's very good, but in a slightly limited sense. I say he's very good. He's got an excellent jab that he puts out there constantly, very high volume with that jab. He's got excellent footwork, and he's basically built an entire MMA career around that jab. It is beautiful. The problem with that jab is he doesn't do a whole lot else. And despite throwing that jab a whole lot else, he doesn't throw that much volume. Occasionally he'll throw the jab followed by the right hand, a nice 1-2. But mostly it's just the jab. There's not a whole load of head movement there. When he gets hit, he just tends to cover up. And I think that's because he's not seeing the punches coming. I think it's a reaction thing. He doesn't throw a whole load of kicks. So it's just an example of some fundamentals of boxing done very, very well.
Yeah.
And an example of how that can take you very far in MMA. But the issue is that enough? Considering that, he's not throwing feints, really. He's got no head movement, really. He's not throwing combinations, really. He's not mixing up with kicks. Is that enough against someone like Max Holloway? He
does throw combinations, but with Kattar, I've come to notice that he starts off quite slow, particularly in round one. And he does, the jabs and stuff in round one, maybe a few 1-2s here and there. He hits quite hard, which is probably one of the reasons why he doesn't throw much output. He probably thinks I can KO people. But yeah, he doesn't really throw much output. A good example is when he fought Zabit, he kind of woke up halfway between the second round. Before that, he was just throwing jabs, some 1-2s, but Zabit was teeing off on him mostly.
Yeah, I think maybe that was because he realized that it wasn't going his way. He had to make it a bit more of a scrap if he had a chance to win.
Yeah.
And to be fair to Kattar, I thought he was dominated for those first 2 rounds, but to be fair to Kattar, he came back in the third round as the beat was fading, and he definitely won the third round in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, even in the third round, he came on quite hard in the last 1 minute and 45 seconds. Like, up until then, it was quite even. But yeah, he won the third round. Zabit won the first 2, outstruck him in the first 2 by quite a distance, and then obviously got tired, which is the problem with Zabit. But yeah, no, I completely agree with everything you said there. One thing that I'll add to what you said is he's got good low kicks, good kicks to the legs. Sometimes he doesn't really apply it that much, but he does have decent kicks. But yeah, I mean, overall, he's a tough dude. He's never been knocked out. He's got good hands, good low kicks, good overall MMA. Very good striker. But yeah, I mean, I think Max Holloway is probably a level above him, and has faced tougher competition.
100%.
A lot tougher competition.
Sorry to interrupt. Today, I spent much of today trying to analyze what these guys do, what makes them good. With Kattar, it's pretty simple. As I described, it's an excellent jab, excellent footwork. That's how he wins fights.
Yeah.
With Holloway, it's more complicated because particularly with striking, if you look at a very high level fighter, it's not always easy to figure out what it is they're doing.
Yeah.
So I watched the Ortega Holloway fight at half speed to figure out exactly what Holloway was doing. So it looks like when Holloway is enacting his game plan and he's putting on a clinic like he did against Ortega, against Edgar to a lesser extent, what he's doing is setting traps. So what he does is he'll throw a jab, a single jab, or a single rear hand, or a body shot, or whatever it is, a left hook,
Yeah.
just to elicit a reaction from his opponent, and his opponent will either cover up, they'll move backwards onto the back foot, they'll parry, or they'll counter. And while they're doing that, Max Holloway is looking for the opening. So while his opponent is reacting, he's already looking to land 1, 2, 3 shots as his opponent is reacting. And that is exactly what you want to do. And that is very, very special. When I know he's run into problems with Poirier, I know he's run into problems with Volkanovski, but
First fight, second fight, he beat Volkanovski quite clearly, in my opinion. I just watched that a few hours ago again.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, he won the first. Okay, the third round was kind of close, but he won 1, 2, and 4 by a distance. And he knocked Volkanovski down in the first 2. But yeah, I agree with that. He's, excellent counter punching, very good judge of distance. Amazing.
It's masterful. If
it really is.
If you watch the Ortega fight at half speed, you will see what he is doing. It is masterful, absolutely masterful. And in that sense, you look at that and I think, that could be some of the best boxing in the UFC.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's the distance management. He can hit you with a shot, and he moves out the way. His opponent's trying to hit him back, but he's just not there.
Yeah.
Like his understanding of range, where he can hit you but you can't hit him, is unparalleled. So, I mean, this is why I think his striking differential is not as good as it used to be before the Volkanovski fights and the Poirier fight, but he used to have a very good striking differential. And that's why, he's hitting you, and you're going to find it very, very difficult to land on him.
Yeah. Let's check his striking differential now that you've spoken about it.
And of course, he's the classic volume puncher. Nothing that he really throws is going to hurt you. But when
6.47 is a lot of volume.
Yeah,
landed per minute. Yeah.
He's absorbing 4.52 now though, and that was better before.
I have no idea how they came up with this figure for Volkanovski. I watched this fight. I've told you
before that the judges are counting shots that are not really landing, that touch gloves. I think the judges scoring points is bullshit, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that fight, I think Max won that very, very clearly. And talking about the Poirier fight, I mean, Poirier just hit him a lot harder. He's a bigger dude, and he's a very good boxer. He's just more powerful. He went up in weight, and he was just hitting him a lot harder. And obviously, that in a judge's eyes is going to kind of skew their judgment. But I mean, look who he's fought. Look who he's fought. This is ridiculous. Pettis, Aldo, Ortega, Poirier, Frankie Edgar, Volkanovski. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the thing with Poirier is an excellent boxer.
Yeah, very good.
He's 2 inches shorter than Holloway, but he's thicker, very wide shoulders, wide back, deep chest. He's a fairly thick guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he closed up Max Holloway's eyes. Smashed up his face. He was just too powerful, I think. But that leads me to one of the questions I wanted to ask you. Kattar is going to be one of the biggest guys, maybe the biggest guy Holloway has ever faced.
Yeah, in terms of height, definitely.
And he's fairly wide, Kattar. He's got pretty skinny legs.
Yeah.
A fairly narrow waist, but he's got wide shoulders.
Yeah, he's bigger than Max. I think they're both the same height or very close to the same height, but he is bigger than Max, I think. But I don't think I think because they're the same weight and Kattar's fought at 145 for such a long time, I don't think that'll have much of a difference, to be honest. Because I think Poirier is significantly bigger than Max, and also Poirier was fighting at 155 for a long time before he took that fight. So
Yeah.
I don't think that'll play too much. They've both got granite chins, both of them.
Yeah.
They've
I mean,
both got
Poirier
very
hit
good
Max
chins.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a very good chin, and Kattar's got a really good chin as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure both of them never been knocked out. That is a good point, because Kattar is probably one of the. I mean, if we look at this, Kattar's definitely bigger than Volkanovski, obviously bigger than Edgar. He's bigger than Ortega. He's bigger than Aldo. He's bigger than Pettis. He's bigger than Ricardo Lamas. He's bigger than Jeremy Stevens. Probably the same size as Charles Oliveira, but that was in
Same height as
2015.
Oliveira, but I think Kattar's wider than Oliveira.
Yeah, probably wider.
Bigger
Yeah.
frame,
Yeah. So yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point.
It's worth mentioning that in the Holloway Poirier fight, yeah, I know Holloway got banged at certain points, particularly in the first round, but Holloway really did have his moments. Like he had Poirier against the cage, landed a lot of shots, a lot of volume that overwhelmed Poirier.
Didn't have the power.
That's the thing, yeah.
Another powerful fighter could have really hurt Poirier in those exchanges. Another fighter with more power, but yeah. Let's look at Kattar's stats. So he lands quite a lot per minute as well. He absorbs more than he lands, which is worrying. Which goes back to your point about head movement. Yeah.
And it's the fact that he throws the jab, but not a whole lot else. I know you said he throws combinations. I'm sure he does.
He does sometimes.
Occasion.
Yeah.
It's not enough though.
It's not enough. No, he starts off very slow. But he is a tough dude, and he's got power in the right hand.
Oh yeah, but, I mean he dropped Shane Burgos, another good boxer, with that right hand. Really wobbled him, and then got him with the uppercut. That was beautiful. Yeah, so there is real power there.
He's got serious power. I mean, KO'd Ricardo Lamas, KO'd Chris Fishgold, KO'd Shane Burgos, KO'd Jeremy Stevens with an elbow. That was a vicious beating. That was a vicious finish. But I don't think he can. I don't think he'll be able to KO Holloway. I think Holloway's chin is just too good.
I don't think it'll even come down to the durability of Holloway's chin. I don't think Kattar will necessarily hit him too often.
Yeah. I was thinking that too, because at first when this fight got announced, I was thinking that this is a dangerous fight for Holloway. But the more that I analyze both their games, I'm thinking that this could be, I wouldn't say an easy fight for Holloway, but I think this could be easier than people are thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's easier than the odds makers are suggesting, which we'll come to later. I think
haven't
you're
seen
right.
the odds.
Well, let's come to that in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this isn't like a walkover for Holloway, but this is relatively straightforward, I think. But one thing I wanted to talk about was how do these guys interact? Because one thing that Kattar is really good at is fighting going backwards. That's when he does his best work, I believe, where people are walking onto that jab. Because he's got excellent footwork. He can dance around the outside beautifully, and people just walk onto that piston-like jab. Now, Holloway likes to push the pace. He likes to come forward, which is slightly odd because he is pushing the pace, but he's also looking for feints and reactions.
Yeah,
but rather than just blitzing, but he does do that on occasion as well. So stylistically, you might think, oh well, this will favor Kattar because Kattar's really good going backwards. Holloway likes to push the pace. What are your thoughts about that?
I think you've got a point there. Kattar is good at going backwards. As you said, his head movement is limited. I think Max is very clever at when he pushes forward quickly and when he doesn't. He's normally always on the front foot and he controls the center of the ring. But I think he's very clever in like switching to, I'm going to completely push forward now. I don't think there'll be an issue for Max. I think Max is just, I mean, overall, I just think Max is a level above Kattar in terms of striking.
Yeah, a couple of levels, I think.
Yeah, probably a couple of levels. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Holloway's throwing those kind of searching punches to elicit reactions from Kattar's head's not going to move. He's going to stay still and probably cover up. At
And
least
he's
for
going
a
to
lot
get
of those
hit
shots.
a lot. Yeah.
So while, as I see it, while Kattar is doing this, Holloway is going to be landing shots to the body, to the side of the head,
kicks to the leg, kicks to the body, anything.
Yeah. And
he can kick as well. He's a very good kicker, Holloway. He doesn't really kick much to the leg sometimes, but I mean, he dropped his last fight against Volkanovski. He dropped him with a kick, first round. So he can kick to the leg as well. I mean, to the head. Good kickboxer. So
yeah, I can see Holloway landing a lot of volume while Kattar's covering up and not moving.
Yeah.
Now, if I was Kattar's coach, now it's easy for us armchair analysts to say this. But if I was Kattar's coach, based on your comment earlier, that Holloway spends most of the fight on his front foot, well, you just hack at that front leg, calf kicks, low kicks, take away his base.
Which is exactly what Volkanovski did in their first fight.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that worked. That worked.
Yeah, that worked. Yeah, that did.
But you can always trust fighters not to do the right thing. And I know you've said Kattar's got really good kicks or really good low kicks. He doesn't throw a whole lot.
Yeah, he doesn't throw a whole lot. That's the problem. Yeah. And it's as you've said in previous podcasts, it's very difficult for a fighter to just completely get rid of their habits and change it for one fight.
It is. Yeah.
It's very difficult. You can go into a fight thinking, I'm going to throw 100 kicks, but if you don't normally do that, it's challenging. So
yeah.
And Max, for the second fight against Volkanovski, he narrowed his stance. He was very wide in their first fight, which obviously exposed his legs. The second one, he was a lot more narrow in terms of he was like
White
that.
eye. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which is probably what he'll do if he thinks that there's a danger of Kattar hacking at his legs. But yeah, I mean, Kattar doesn't really throw much volume. That's the problem. So I can see Max like really blitzing him in the first 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah, well, let me think about that.
But I don't think there'll be a knockout in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, Max could overwhelm him with volume at any point, I think.
Get a TKO win.
It could be the first round. Yeah, maybe not first round. That's not really his thing. But this is a 5-round fight, isn't it?
It's 5 rounds, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Holloway is very much a 5-round fighter.
Holloway can do fucking 10 rounds if he wanted to.
Yeah, cardio for days.
Kattar's done 5 against Dan Ige, which that was a good fight. He did well. He did well in that fight.
How was he in the 5th round?
Yeah, he was okay. He was still throwing, but I mean, Dan Ige is a good wrestler. He's from AKA. He didn't really implement his game plan, and I mean, Holloway's levels above Dan Ige. So
that's the thing. So Dan Ige, I know Dan Ige's got a good, well-rounded game.
Yeah.
He's not amazing. And
no, he's not like elite. No.
And he's a fairly small guy for the division, standing at 5'7".
He's 5'6", 5'7", I think.
I believe he's 5'7", yeah.
5'7", yeah.
So I mean, if you look at a guy of Calvin Kattar's size and apparent ability, according to how people perceive him, I feel as though he should be disposing of people like Dan Ige a little more easily.
Well, you got a unanimous decision, but
if you look at the strikes,
105 to 84. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I mean, Max Holloway would completely. I mean, he'd probably double that strike count if he fought Dan Ige.
Yeah, and just on that theme, in the fight against Shane Burgos, I know Kattar knocked him out, finished him, but Shane Burgos was getting the better of him. Shane Burgos, I believe, had outlanded him and was turning the tide and was really giving Kattar some hard times.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we've kind of identified. I mean, we both like Kattar. He's a good.
Yeah, solid. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a difference between being solid and elite, and I feel like we've identified Kattar's level here.
Yeah, exactly.
and he's
Yeah.
found his ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a huge step up for him. This is yeah, this I mean, what, he's 32, he's young, but people forget Holloway's only 29. He's
Is
still
he
on the
still
right
only
side of 30.
29?
Yeah, yeah. He's only
That's
29, man.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so Holloway's got a long way to go still. 1991.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
Yeah, so anything else you see in this? I mean, they're not really grapplers, are they? They do some clinch work now and then, but
I'd be astonished if this went to the
yeah,
ground.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, this is in Abu Dhabi, right?
I don't know.
I think this is in Abu Dhabi. Is this in Abu Dhabi? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is in Abu Dhabi. So
Do we know
I
if it's on
haven't.
at a sensible time?
I'm not sure. Um, I remember checking this one. I don't think this one is, because they're
Nah,
aiming at the
lame. The
American
American,
audience.
yeah, they would, wouldn't
Yeah,
they? Lame.
yeah. This one isn't. I think this one is on at like 3 a.m. for us.
Yeah, that
Um,
sucks. Need to
but
move
I
to
mean, let's.
Texas, man.
Yeah, you just need to move to America somewhere. Um, let's get on to predictions then, because I think we've done the analysis for this. So what are you thinking then?
It's got to be Holloway. The only question is how. And I'm thinking Holloway can get a finish. Maybe round 3.
Round 3. Okay.
What do you think?
I think Holloway unanimous decision. I think he's going to put on a clinic, and just outstrike him.
The reason I'm saying
Massively.
a finish. Sorry, go on.
I just think he'll outstrike him significantly over 5 rounds.
Yeah. The reason I'm saying a finish rather than a decision is Kattar is good in certain circumstances. He's good when people come forward and walk onto that jab.
Yeah.
He's not good in the firefights, which Holloway is. In the pocket, up close and dirty. Holloway's very good at that. Kattar isn't. I just feel as though Kattar is not. I think his game plan is going to fall apart at some point.
Yeah. I think once he realizes how sophisticated Max is, he'll be confused as to what to do.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the sheer volume is unnerving. It's a whole lot to deal with. And if Max Holloway can overwhelm Poirier at certain points in that fight with volume and get him up against the cage and have him confused and lost, 100% he can do that against Kattar.
Yeah.
And
I
Kattar
agree
is
with
going
that.
to react worse when he's up against the cage and he's got 10 shots in his face in the course of over 3, 4, 5 seconds. That's an overwhelming, discombobulating feeling.
Yeah.
And if Poirier can't deal with that, I mean, Poirier did deal with that and went on to win the fight, but there were moments when he was very, very pressured and looked to be in trouble. So Kattar's going to deal with that a whole lot worse, in my opinion, which is why I think Holloway could get the finish.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm just going on Kattar's how tough he is. He's never been knocked out. He's gone 5 rounds before. I think he'll just take the beating over the 5 rounds. He may have some moments. He may have some moments. I mean, he's got a good jab. He's got a good 1-2. But I think this is 70-30, 75-25 to Max.
I think 75-25 is fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you say Kattar can. Yeah, he's a tough guy. He can take the damage. But I mean, we saw what Holloway did to Ortega's face. That's what toughness does to Ortega.
Yeah, that's true.
His face.
Should be said, Ortega's striking was pretty bad back then. He wasn't really a striker. His striking's really improved over the last 2-3 years. That 2 years he took off.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really a jiu-jitsu guy back then, wasn't he? Everything was to set up the chokes and so on.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But still, it's a fair point. Yeah, he ruined Ortega.
We look at the odds.
Let's look at the odds, yeah, because you mentioned it at the beginning, and then I mean I'm assuming Max is favorite.
What odds would you give to Max?
I don't know, like -250, -200 maybe.
Well, then you're in luck because he's -175.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of value there.
There is a lot of value there. Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
That's safe come territory.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you and say this is a -300 for Max.
Yeah.
And even then, I'd find value in it. I put that in a safe come at -300.
Yeah.
So for
I'm surprised by those odds. So what's Kattar plus what?
Let's have a look. Kattar is Kattar is +138.
+138. Okay. Yeah. No. These. I think people are just going on his off Max's recent losses.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't see. Yeah, that should be like -250 to -300 in my opinion. But is there anything you want to add to this, or I think that's a fair summary of this in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident.
Yeah, I think Max will get the job done.
I get a little bit worried when I'm very confident because
we do. So sometimes it is what it is. Well, a lot of the times it is what it is. So
it is what it is, as Max always says. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is fairly cut and dried. I don't think I'm missing anything here.
No.
Max Holloway is just the better boxer. That's it. And this is a boxing match, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we've identified why Holloway is the better boxer. And that's pretty clear.
Yeah. More output, better boxer, better kicker.
The only variable I might be slightly worried about is Kattar's the second biggest guy he's faced. Yeah.
Yeah. But but given they're the same weight, I don't think that'll be too much of an issue.
But just look at these pictures here. I mean, you can see Kattar's got the bigger frame, bigger shoulders, bigger neck, deeper chest.
Yeah, he's a bigger dude. Yeah, he is a bigger dude.
Bigger arms. Yeah.
I mean, that could also work to be a disadvantage if you're that big and have to come down to that weight.
I'm sure Kattar cuts a shitload of weight.
Yeah, he must cut a lot of weight, dude. Yeah. Because I've heard Max comes down from like 170, 175, which is ridiculous. Sometimes.
175. What's that in kilos?
That's like your weight, dude. No, probably a slightly less than you.
I'm 78 kilos.
Yeah. How? I can only do UFC in pounds, dude. I can't do it in kilos.
Yeah.
I only think of UFC in pounds.
Yeah, I mean, Max, I'm sure cuts a lot of weight as well.
Yeah, he does cut. Yeah, he does cut a lot of weight.
He's got quite thick legs.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, that's over a number of weeks, months that he cuts that weight. It's not. I think he did it against Khabib, didn't he? Where he tried to cut 20-something pounds, and they said you can't fight because it was too dangerous. He probably ended up fainting or something.
Yeah, he did faint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was down to lightweight, and he fights at featherweight. So
exactly, yeah. So he probably does cut down from 175, 180.
Yeah, good.
Lightweight's 155, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Kattar probably cuts a shitload.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that's a good wrap up of everything. So I've got Max Holloway via unanimous decision, and Andrew.
I'm going to go with Holloway for a finish. If I have to pick a round, I'll say round 3. And 100%, this is going in the safe come.
Oh, yeah. Everybody
100%.
That's watching, this is going in the safe come. And for anybody who's new to watching our podcast, thank you for watching. Thanks to all the existing viewers. And cum means accumulator, or in America, what is an accumulator? They call it
Parlay?
something else, don't they?
A parlay.
A parlay.
Yeah.
Parlay
Cum
equals
also
cum.
means cum.
Yeah, it also means cum.
So,
Use it how you want. But thanks for watching. We're going to be uploading more videos covering other fights on this card, and we're covering all cards in Jan going forward this year. So thanks for watching. Take care, everybody, and please do like, please do subscribe. Take care. Bye.